following CannabisRadio.com program contains explicit language and content that can be considered graphic and offensive. This program is not suitable for all audiences, and the opinions expressed do not reflect those of CannabisRadio.com, its staff, management, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, my children. Stoner Jesus here to tell you that the Stoner Jesus Show is moving our live time for the show starting on September 9th, 2016. You can join us for Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus live on CannabisRadio.com. That's 9/9/16 live on CannabisRadio.com, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Morning radio will never be the same. Come Wake and Bake with me, 9/9/16 on CannabisRadio.com.
I wish you would fall off of a cliff and fall on your...
This show is a well-oiled machine.
Pizzas shaped like penises.
That's gold, son.
CannabisRadio.com presents the Stoner Jesus Show.
Fucking Christ. Hell yeah. Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. Welcome to everyone listening live and on podcast. We're live on CannabisRadio.com and Cannabis Radio on Spreaker. Big show tonight, as always. Friday night, kicking off the weekend. Getting a little faded, as the kids say. Faded. I'm on Twitter at StonerJesus420. Tweet me a link to the show whenever, however, wherever you're listening. You can also email the show, StonerJesus420 at gmail.com. Matter of fact, I believe we do have an email. Follow up to the email we read the other night. Get to that momentarily. Also got a voicemail from St. Peter. It's been a while. Almost 2 weeks, I guess. Maybe it's been 2 weeks. I don't know. We haven't been paying attention, to be honest with you. We haven't been keeping track. Ever since St. Peter's Spexit, the big Spexit vote on Twitter, that exiled St. Peter from the show. He's had a rough time. He mentioned some of that in his voicemail, as you can imagine. And later tonight, we have the story of the mom and the son, and they're fucking each other. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. You may have seen it by now. It's definitely a big story. They're facing jail time for it. That's what we're going to talk about. Also after that, sex, toys, and stories from the road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. There's a page for that on StonerJesus.net if you want to contact her with topics or questions or whatnot. Sex, toys, and stories from the road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. Following her, we have adult superstar Rochelle Ryan. Talk to her about her, featured dancing, and she makes a ton of videos. And you can go to any porn site, Pornhub, whatever. Look up Rochelle Ryan. Bam, she's there. Incredibly gorgeous, incredibly talented. She loves football. We ask her about all that. It's a big night. It's just a big fucking night, man. If you're on Facebook, you want to join our group for the show, search Disciples of Stoner Jesus on Facebook. Hang out with other hardcore fans of the show, post stuff, chat, whatever. I post updates about the show in there. Get feedback. Search Disciples of Stoner Jesus on Facebook. You can also find full episodes of the Stoner Jesus Show on YouTube. Our YouTube's linked to StonerJesus.net. Every bit of information The page for Sex Toys and Stories from the Road, the mailing list, the Wake and Bake. You heard that promo opening up the show. All information on that, stonerjesus.net. Get the St. Peter's voicemail momentarily from the email. Last week, I guess it was Monday night maybe, Wade, we read his email about Trump, my feelings on Trump, and whether, not that it matters, I mean, you know, in the Electoral College, he's fucking toast. Unless Hillary really fucks up, and let's face it, what could Hillary possibly do that would be considered such a fuck up that she's not going to be president of the United States? What else can she do? I don't know. There's nothing I can think of that they would say, oh, well, you know, she can't be president. So that remains to be seen. Anyway, follow up. He said, SJ, so cool to hear my email on your podcast. Thanks so much. Great explanation. Of course it was. He didn't write that. That's my interjection. New question for you. Who is your NFL team? Seeing as Kentucky doesn't have one, go Falcons. We're close to the Cincinnati area. I've always been a follower of the Cincinnati Bengals, and that sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a happy existence. They used to just suck so bad they never went to the playoffs. Now they go to the playoffs every year and they lose. I'm not sure which is worse. They lose the first game every year. So I don't know. It's still something I check out every Sunday because I like football. I've watched football all my life, but I don't get my hopes up. What I expect this year from the Bengals, we're going to go to the playoffs and lose in the first game. I would bet, if I had a large amount of money to bet on football, that's what I would bet it on. That the Bengals are going to make the playoffs and lose the first game. I think that's a pretty good fucking bet. I mean, as far as the NFL goes, that's about as a sure thing as you can get. So there you go. My NFL advice. Thank you for the email, Wade. Email us out there if you're a listener. StonerJesus420 at gmail.com. Of course, Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus. We move the live time for the show. That starts 9/9/16, September 9th, 2016, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time. We start out, it's going to be 2 hours every Friday, live on CannabisRadio.com. Then, of course, the podcasts go to all the places that you expect them to go. StonerJesus.net, CannabisRadio.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and now YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to get the podcast on all those. Of course, the live show, as it is now, will only be on CannabisRadio.com, 9/9/16, 10 a.m. Come wake and bake with me. Be dope. Be the dope shit of you. Yeah, whatever. St. Peter, he had his big Spexit vote. I guess it's been about 6 weeks. I don't know. As I said, I'm really not keeping track. He was exiled from the show. It was very brutal. He's been through a lot of stuff. He's been in jail a couple times. A couple weeks ago, he had a meltdown at the Hate Group Softball League, and just, he's hopped up on PCP and kicked a bunch of people in the nuts, and was like hitting people with hot dogs and shit, and headbutted some people and whatever. It was just a blur of little St. Peter PCP fueled violence. So he finally left us a voicemail. It's been a while since he's just, I don't know. I mean, by the way, VDJ Sexy Hippie in the chat area on Spreaker. That's right, gonna be Waking Bacon. Waking and Bacon. Waking Bacon. Waking Bacon. Friday, September 9th, 2016. St. Peter left us the first voicemail that he has in a couple weeks. So, as I said, it's been a rough road for St. Peter since it specs it. He has not been here in the complex. He's not been on the property at all. He's just a voicemail, which is also, as I've discussed before, I think we really found the key to St. Peter, Because when he was in studio and doing stuff, he kind of sucked, and he was annoying, and he smelled bad, which means, we had to make his own little booth for him to, cut him off there. And it was just a whole fucking thing that wasn't good. He's just not good, in studio with a microphone. But on voicemail, I really think that's where St. Peter comes into his own. He's shining as a performer. In this voicemail, he's a little angry with me. Can you imagine that? Voicemail from St. Peter. Check it.
Oh man, I had missed that British chick that did the voicemail thing. Man, she's got a sexy voice. Anyway, Jesus, it's me, St. Peter. Man, you may have thought I forgot about you because I haven't left a voicemail for a while. I went to jail yet again after the hate group softball league thing. But you may think I forgot, Jesus, but I didn't forget. I'm still pissed off at you, man. You know, this whole Spexit thing and fucking kicking me off the show. I'm in exile, and then you sent me up to fucking Cleveland. I went to jail there. And I come back down here, I go to jail again, 'cause I'm fucked up on a lot of shit. It's really pissing me off, Jesus. Like, you derailed my whole fucking life, man. Like, you like everything I had planned. I got the segments planned, and hey, you remember I was going to become a black guy? Jesus?
Yeah.
You fucked that up. You fucked up that whole plan with this exile exit bullshit. This Spexit. Fuck nuttery or whatever it was. Jesus, I was going to become a hot black dude. I was going to like the skin darkening pigmentation thing, and I was going to like the dick implants so I could have a big old dick I could choke the bitches with. Yo, you know what I'm saying? But you fucked me over, Jesus. It was whack. It's fucking whack, dog, what you did to me. And, I'm not going to forget that shit. You be tripping. I'm not tripping. I'm gonna think of something, Jesus. I'm gonna think of something real bad. I'm gonna do it to you. I don't know what yet, but it's gonna be bad. You feel me? You feel me, Jesus? Do you feel me? Do you feel me, or are you feeling me? Are you feeling me? Well, let me try both. Do you feel me? Let me try the other one. Are you feeling me? I like the first one. Do you feel me? I think it sounds more authentic. Anyway, Jesus, I'm getting off the fucking point about, how you fucked up my life, and that pisses me off, so fuck you, and fuck your stupid little show, and, your internet shit, and your microphone. You can shove that microphone. You can fucking shove it up your ass, man. That's what I'm looking for. Right up your ass, motherfucker. So, fuck you, Jesus. It's basically what I call to say. So, I just said it, so I guess I'm done. Fuck you, Jesus.
The voicemail from St. Peter, currently exiled from the show. That wasn't bad. Like I said, much better than anything he ever did in the studio. The stuff in the studio was awful. Just awful. But voicemails, maybe it's just something psychological about him not physically being here. It just is really good. You remember, I remember a lot of the phone calls, too, are really good from, when he was in the hospital and all that shit. It's just, I think we really narrowed down what the problem with St. Peter was, and that was him being here. Now he's not here and can't be here. He's just he's shining. He's just shining. It's fucking, it's like being in this building sucks up his talent. Or being in this building annoys me so much that I don't recognize his talent. Which, I'm not sure what that is. It's something. There's something there. He's got something. Star Jesus Show podcast. Coming up, we're going to talk about the mom and the son that are banging. That's right, you heard me. Deal with the hardcore shit here, bitch. Moms and sons banging it out. Sex toys and stories from the road will follow that. With VDJ Sexy Hippie, followed by adult superstar Rochelle Ryan. Big fucking show tonight. Star Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. We're live on CannabisRadio.com. Go tell your homies, go tell your hoes, go tell every motherfucker so every motherfucker knows that we're live.
The Stoner Jesus Show on CannabisRadio.com.
Hello, my children. Stoner Jesus here to tell you about another awesome sponsor of the show, Kind Soil. Check out the Kind Soil banner on stonerjesus.net or go to kindsoil.com. And also follow at Kind Soil on Twitter. Kind Soil is a 100% organic soil program that feeds your plants from seed to harvest. All you ever do is water your plants. You never use nutrients. Again, make sure you check out that Kind Soil banner on stonerjesus.net. Kind Soil allows your plant to feed as it chooses, drink fresh, clean water as it chooses, all while never experiencing burns or growth issues from chemical feeding. Kind Soil produces large, dense flowers soaked in trichomes. Go check it out for yourself, kindsoil.com, or click that Kind Soil banner on stonerjesus.net.
The political climate is at a fever pitch, and the fight for the social fabric of America is set for battle this November. Tuesday, November 8th, the cannabis liberation movement takes a huge step forward, and Cannabis Radio is here to chronicle this legendary moment. CannabisRadio.com and the Cannabis Radio News team will feature wall-to-wall live coverage of all the coast-to-coast voting of state amendments, ballots, propositions, and initiatives that will further progress the cannabis crusade. Join us Thursday, November 8th for Vote 2016, The Path to Cannabis Freedom, only on CannabisRadio.com.
The Stoner Jesus Show is brought to you by Celebrity Dildo. Make sure you check out that Celebrity Dildo banner on stonerjesus.net or just go to celebritydildo.com. Celebrity Dildo has released a new and exciting range of premium silicone dildos that have finally combined the two worlds of novelty and function. Celebrity Dildos are made of premium medical-grade silicone. They're firm yet flexible and velvet to the touch, durable, non-porous, odorless, hypoallergenic, and let's face it, they are just a great conversation piece. You want to check out Celebrity Dildo, go check out their banner on stonerjesus.net and follow them on all their social media networks. Celebrity Dildo, awesome sponsor of the Stoner Jesus Show. Make sure you check them out on stonerjesus.net.
Tommy Chong is ready to cut through the smoke and change the tone of Tilk Radio.
All you have to do is decriminalize. We don't need a government regulation to tell us this is good pot, that's bad pot. We don't need any of that.
The Tommy Chong Podcast, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Welcome to my world.
Play as Ted Growing, expelled botany sophomore and the biggest grower in town, only on Weed Firm Replanted. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
It's a lot of work being the biggest grower in town. Maintaining a room full of plants while dealing with a slew of eccentric customers? From a hardcore partier to the curious neighbor next door.
Is anybody home?
Help me expand my bud business by unlocking new strains, customizing my grow room, and completing challenges that you can't get enough of. Grow your empire so big you can see it from space. Low on funds? Don't worry. Weed Firm Replanted is free to download.
Download Weed Firm Replanted for free on the App Store and Google Play today. Get growing, Mr. Growing.
Previously on the Stoner Jesus Show.
Hello?
Hey, are you the one that put the ad on Craigslist? It was in the personal section about, want to have a little good time tonight?
No.
Nothing about, any backdoor action?
No.
A little fifth base? You're not into that?
No, and I suggest you don't fucking call my phone number, you fucking perverted bastard.
Are you sure you're not the one on the Craigslist? You're talking dirty to me. Damn, she hung up.
That was good.
It was funny, though.
The Stoner Jesus Show, live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Or find the Stoner Jesus Show podcast on demand at CannabisRadio.com and StonerJesus.net.
Peace, bitches.
The following CannabisRadio.com program contains explicit language and content that can be considered graphic and offensive. This program is not suitable for all audiences, and the opinions expressed do not reflect those of CannabisRadio.com, its staff, management, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. Welcome back, everybody listening live on CannabisRadio.com. Of course, everybody listening to the podcast on the various platforms and podcatchers and whatnot. However you listen, wherever you listen. I know we're on a ton of weird podcast websites that the feed just goes to, and a lot of people have 18 different podcatchers you can get on your cell phone, and there's iTunes and iHeartRadio and Stitcher and YouTube and Spreaker, and just, we're everywhere, which is kind of the point. Broadening the reach, or whatever. Reaching the broad. Whichever you prefer. Coming up, sex, toys, and stories from the road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. Rochelle Ryan. After that, porn superstar Rochelle Ryan. We have an interview with her. It's a big Friday night here on the Stoner Jesus Show. First, as promised, the mother-son banging story. I tweeted about this a few days ago. But first, let's get into the story. Basically, here's the background. This woman, she got pregnant at 16, had the baby, gave the baby up for adoption. Didn't see the baby for 18 years. 18 years later, the mother, the father has the son, I guess, or the son is at the father's house. The mom goes and picks him up. They start hanging out. The son's 18, the mother's 36. Well, she's 36 and the son is now 19. During the course of this, they say that they fell in love. His biological mother, he didn't see for 18 years. Now, they face up to 18 months in prison if found guilty of incest under New Mexico law. Now, here's the thing. Most of us are born with something, whatever it is. I'm sure there's scientific research been done on it. Something in our brains that prevents us from being attracted to our mom, our dad, our brothers or sisters, so on and so forth. Just something biologically that says, that's not right, and you have no attraction to this person, and you don't. Personally, I don't want to bang my mom. Call me old-fashioned, whatever. I have no desire to have sex with my mother. And I don't think that would change if I didn't see her for 18 years. But be that as it may, it's pretty fucked up. It's a pretty fucked up thing when you think about it. A mother and a son, they're banging. It's fucked up. It's weird. It's abnormal. Whatever you want to call it. It's not the norm. It's nowhere near the norm. Nowhere near the normal mother-son relationship. Let's say all that's a given. Here's the problem that I have. It's the 18 months they're facing in prison. Say what you want about it, but they're two consenting adults. There's no victim. Neither one says they're in this relationship or whatever against their will. Nobody's saying they're being raped. They're consenting adults. As fucked up as most of us may think it is, nobody's rights are being violated. So how can two people go to prison for 18 months? That's my problem with it. They're consenting adults. How do you put them in prison for 18 months if they haven't violated the rights of anybody else? And you say, well, their family, they think it's icky. That's fine. I understand. Further in the story, you learn that not only are they willing to go to jail to defend their relationship, which personally I don't think they should be facing jail. What they do is what they do. As long as nobody's rights are being violated, I don't think anybody should face jail at all for anything. There has to be a violation of rights. There has to be a victim. But this bitch also says that she's willing to go to jail to defend her relationship, and even if it means giving up her other younger children. And I have a problem with that. Whether he's your son or your fucking dude or whatever, you're going to give up your other kids because you're going to defend your, what the fuck did they call it? They have like a word for it. Genetic sexual attraction, GSA relationships. There'll be a fucking awareness group for that soon. So they've gone public. They're making some sort of stand about the fact that I guess moms and sons, if they haven't seen each other for 18 years, they should be able to bang. That is what it is. Like I said, once you start legislating what people do in their houses, and once you start legislating and making laws and prohibitions against things that aren't infringing on the rights of anybody else, you're going down a bad road. A really bad road. Anything you don't agree with, if you get enough people to vote for it, or you get it codified in the law, you go to jail. Whatever it is, the people that you live around don't agree with. It's just, and people will say, well, where you draw the line? I'll tell you where you draw the line. On one side, there's victims. On the other side, there's not victims. You draw the line between those two groups. For something to be a crime, there has to be a victim. There has to be someone's rights being violated. I don't see either of those things here. It's fucked up to be sure. But, whatever happens, but to drag them through court and just all this other shit and taking someone's rights away when they haven't infringed on the rights of someone else, like I said, it's a bad road. It's a bad road because they can use that for anything. Anything that a lot of people decide they don't like, they can make a crime, and you're going to jail. Maybe like jacking off by standing on your head in your bathroom. What if they make that illegal? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then, motherfucker? When you can't stand on your head and jack off in your own fucking bathroom anymore. What kind of country do we live in? So anyway, that's the mom banging the son story. We got, I'm sure VDJ Sex Hippie's excited to follow that segment. Sex Toys and Stories from the Road with VDJ Sexy Hippie coming up. Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. We're also about 35 minutes away from my interview with Rochelle Ryan, adult superstar at Rochelle Ryan on Twitter. She's got like 175,000 Twitter followers. Off the chain, son. That's right. Leslie Jones, man, she got an Olympic gig from saying son a lot. I'm going to get back to that. I haven't said it. I think that's the first time I said it tonight. We'll make it 2. Son. We'll be back, Dick Nuggets.
The show on CannabisRadio.com.
The Stoner Jesus Show is brought to you in part by Hemptations.com and PlanetEverywhere.com. They got a lot of awesome stuff for you to check out. But don't just take my word for it. Let Beach, the owner of Hemptations, tell you all about it.
It's a very large selection of hemp goods, everything from reusable coffee filters to frisbees, bandanas, everything Planet Everywhere on the site is made in Cincinnati, Ohio, made locally. We also have other retail products from our cosmetics, Earthly Body product, bags on the retail site. Again, anybody local in Cincinnati can go to Hemptations.com and get the info on the stores. Planet Everywhere is .com is our retail site. You can hit me up on Hemptation Beach or like my Facebook page, Hemptations or Hemptations 2. I'm on Twitter, Google, I'm on the internet everywhere, just like everyone. We love to hear from people all over the world, positive things about industrial hemp. That's what I do. That's what we do. Largest selection of industrial hemp on the planet in the stores. And I'd like to grow that inventory to be able to say that I haven't actually checked out all the other hemp retail spots to see if we have the largest amount on our Planet Everywhere, but it's a fair selection.
And as Beach always says,
having temptations.
Cannabis use isn't the only thing growing. So are we. Grow with us. CannabisRadio.com.
Your connection to quality cannabis insurance services is spelled K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R. That's Karcher Insurance. We have worked with ventures like cannabis for over 60 years. We're proud to represent over 50 companies with tailor-made cannabis plans for owners just like you to insure your product, your plants, and your pursuits. K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R spells out their full-service insurance services ranging from commercial to bonds to personal, from life to health, and more. Contact the team at KarcherInsurance.com and let our experience work for you. That's K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R Insurance.com.
Contact Karen and the team at Karcher Insurance at 1-844-421-3560. That's 844-421-3560.
Welcome to Cannabis Confidential. I'm your host, Dr. Dina. We've got David Faustino on the line, Bud Bundy from Married with Children. Did you feel nervous being a celebrity walking into a weed store?
I don't remember at all being like, ooh, I'm scared someone's going to take my picture here.
What are they going to say? Bud Bundy smokes bud? I mean, come on.
It wouldn't be a big shocker. Hey, this is David Faustino, and I'm on Cannabis Confidential with my girl, Dr. Dina, on CannabisRadio.com.
The next generation of vaporizers has arrived. Vuber vaporizers are blazing the way with unparalleled technology for oil, concentrate, or dry flower pens. Providing unsurpassed customer service and expert craftsmanship, Vuber vaporizers use cutting-edge technology, providing a power-packed, smoother vapor with a lifetime guarantee. Experience vaporizing the way it was meant to be. The Vuber way.
CannabisRadio.com keeps you in the know Monday through Friday on air and on demand with Cannabis Radio News. Presented with the definitive worldwide news source, the Associated Press. Stay informed with exclusive news on all things cannabis. Cannabis Radio News, live weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, during the Russ Belville Show, or download the daily podcast exclusively on CannabisRadio.com, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. When breaking news happens in the cannabis industry, Cannabis Radio News delivers the details first.
The following CannabisRadio.com program contains explicit language and content that can be considered graphic and offensive. This program is not suitable for all audiences, and the opinions expressed do not reflect those of CannabisRadio.com, its staff, management, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah.
Pull out from your mate, get off your knees, and chill with a cunning linguist live from Canada. It's time for sex, toys, and stories from the road with @VDJ Sexy Hippie.
Indeed, it is time for Sex, Toys, and Stories from the Road. As I said, check out that page on SternJesus.net. This is the Stern Jesus Show podcast, August 12, 2016. And that is going to be VDJ Sexy Hippie. I'm going to turn my shit up here. And welcome her to the show all the way from Canada, the far-off land of Canada.
Yes, all the way in Canada. Ooh, why is this not working? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. There's something on here that's not working. Why are you not working? That sucks. Anyways, yeah, something's not working, but at least we have sound, so this is awesome.
Absolutely.
So today is Sex, Toys, and Stories from the Road, and of course, people are lazy fuckers, and I got no emails, so you guys suck. But you guys can unsuck yourselves by emailing me at vjsexyhippie@gmail.com if you have any questions and crap like that, and blah, 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 blah.
Unsuck yourself.
Unsuck yourself. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, anyways, I have a little bit of rant, a little bit of rave, and then I have somewhat educational stuff for sappy people. So, let's get started. Yeah. So anyways, the first thing I want to talk about is just some experiences that have been going on over here, and I just kind of need to vent to get off my chest. Now, a lot of us, we could be responsible. We're responsible cannabis users. Unfortunately, though, there's a lot of people who suffer from the disease of addiction, alcohol, drugs, whatnot. And when people reach out for help, one of the places people will go is detox. Well, I've been talking to a few people in my community, and recently I heard a story. I was talking to someone, and he decided, you know what, he wanted help. So he goes off to detox, and he goes and he asks for help and whatnot, and the people start treating him like shit. You know, first he met two really good workers, and then the next worker was a complete fucking asshole. So he decides, you know what, he's going to leave. You know, he's frustrated. He decides he's going to leave. A couple days later, he's like, you know what, I need to go. He goes back again. Meets another nice person. No big deal. Ends up with another shitty person, a different shitty person. So my rant and my rave is generally this. If you guys are in the fucking helping field, counselors, whatnot, do not treat the people who come in like shit. Like, seriously, get your fucking act together. It takes a lot for someone to ask for help. And especially with the disease of addiction, it takes a lot for someone to ask for help. So when they ask for fucking help, don't be a douchebag.
Absolutely.
And I've had my own experiences. I'm surviving what's called codependent. So it's not a drug addiction. It's more because I grew up with an alcoholic father and, you know, my history with spouses and things like that. So I had to get help for codependency. And I went to a treatment program to deal with it. But while I was there, the counselor decided to bitch me out. Well, that didn't fucking help me. I left. I got help on my own, but I still fucking left. So again, if you're in the helping field, smarten the fuck up and don't be a douchebag. You're there to care. You're paid to care. So you know what? At least fucking care. Or at least act like you care.
Fucking A.
Fucking A. So that's my first and my first rant and rave done and over with. Yay! So, anyways, following up on the story, Lost Sex Toys and Stories from the Road, I was talking a lot about what's going on in Sault Ste. Marie, where I currently live. There was something coming before the courts where 3 men were charged with murder and dismembering this guy's body. Unfortunately, the judicial system is very different in Canada as it is in the U.S. So I'll follow up to that story from the local news here. So it says, police chief going to Ontario Attorney General's office over controversial plea deal. Now, these guys ended up getting time served with an additional, I think, 2.5 years or some shit like that. And then they're going to be out. Which is not good. A lot of people are scared. The one sister has even spoke out and saying that she doesn't want her brother out because of shit that he's done in the past. So a lot of people don't want these people back in our community. Anyways, that's the follow-up for this story here. So the police says he wants to know why lead investigators were shut out of negotiations and why prosecutors denied a deal that was in the works. The city's police chief said he's going to meet with the provincial attorney general. So this is the guy that's the judicial guy that they got to go to next. Office to discuss a controversial deal that made in secret in a gruesome homicide, decapitation, and dismemberment case. Sault Ste. Marie Police Chief Robert Cheech said Crown attorneys agreed to a deal without input from the investigators in charge on the first-degree murder case against Ronald Michaud, Dylan Dacko, and Eric Miro in the death of 29-year-old Weston Helm. Now they're having his funeral, I believe, in the next week for him. Finally, his mother has got the last of his remains, but it's been 5 years that this family took to be able to bury their kid.
Wow.
So this has been going on for quite some time. Last week, all 3 pleaded guilty to manslaughter and indignity to a human body and will walk free for 2 years or less. The plea was denounced by dozens of protesters who gathered outside the courthouse, and I was there. I went to that at the time, as well as Helen's family and Cheech, who slammed prosecutors in the ministry. Now, it was nice because the police officers they were there to provide security and do their job, but they also stood there in agreement to the protest because they are very, very upset over this deal as well.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if the people are against it. It's also another thing when the police and the people are against it. And they're still going through with this deal. Well, it's too late to change the outcome of the case because they can't go back to it. So the ministry's office in keen to meet to discuss the issue. We live with the decision, but I want to see the progress change for the future so circumstances that lead up to the resolution like this does not happen again. I'm looking to affect policy and or procedural changes. So they want changes on how shit like this is handled, and I totally agree with that. They should have talked to the police officers that did the investigation. They should have, talked to other people, not just make a decision based on what's on paper and not what they seem to think. Police chief said that he wants to know why his lead investigators were shut out of the negotiations and why prosecutors denied a deal was in the works. And from what I'm hearing, a deal was in the works since April. The family was only notified about 2 or 3 weeks before the deal went through, about 2 weeks before this. So there's no justice there. Something seems extremely fishy. Keech told the Canadian press his force only found out about the deal after officers who were escorting the man to and from their court appearances overheard them discussing it. We are hearing these rumors, and we were asking the Crown if there was a resolution in the works, and we were told there was no deal. After repeated questioning, Keech said the Crown's regional office finally admitted 2 weeks ago that the man would plead to lesser charges. The first-degree murder trial was slated to begin in October following a lengthy preliminary hearing. Keech said he was also told the plea deal was first suggested after prosecutors from outside the area were asked to weigh in on the case. So even the people who pretty much made these decisions are not from here. They're not from this community. They don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Wow.
They don't know the history of these people. They don't know the fear that these people being released back on the streets could cause. So, anyways,
That's
so
fucked
now,
up.
exactly, it's fucked. Now that he wants the Attorney General to review that process, the chiefs also took issue with the agreed statement of facts as it was read in court last week. There are significant differences in the sense of evidence we gathered and then what was presented in court, but he would not comment any further. He also called the death one of the most important and horrific cases in recent memory. More than 200 officers from the Sault Ste. Marie Force and the OPP, which is our Ontario Provincial Police, worked on the case. It took 3 months and $1 million just to find and discover Hillam's head, and that's a lot of fucking money. Like this, it's not just the deal; it's the money and the time that it took to get this case together, which was tossed in a dumpster and eventually brought to a landfill in Michigan. It was a huge profile, and I really felt that it was in the best interest to go to trial and ultimately let a jury pass a verdict in this particular matter. And they did good at keeping a lot of the details out of the press of what actually did happen. So when it comes to going before a jury, well, the jury, there's going to be a little biases, but you can go in other jurisdictions to find jury members who may not even heard of this case. And the details were really, really closed off to the public for a long time. So the spokesman for the Ministry of the Attorney General will not comment on a meeting that was scheduled, but says plea deals are about archiving just and appropriate resolutions in criminal matters. In each case, the Crown considers the individual facts and circumstances, including the strength of the availability, evidence, potential defenses, and likely outcome of criminal prosecution. In the recommending a deal resolution to the court, the Crown's goal is to protect the public while ensuring that the accused is held accountable. Well, they didn't do either of that.
Yeah.
They didn't. You know, the public is very fearful of these 3 people being released again. The decision to accept or reject the plea deal ultimately rests with the judge, who must decide if the plea is appropriate. Crown Attorney Philip Stickleberg told court last week several factors played into the deal, including fatalities in evidence, namely the level of intoxication of the killers and the witnesses, many of whom were consuming a cornucopia of drugs and alcohol. So, because it wasn't just pot. Like, pot does not make you violent or anything like that.
Yeah.
But coke, there's alcohol, there's heroin, there's all sorts of shit mixed into the mix. It's just really bad. Really, 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 really bad. So, but anyways, to continue on, I also found an article. Like I said, I was going to get into something sappy because I don't really think I've covered anything like sexual or anything like that in a while. So, and it's summertime, and I'm in just one of those moods, and maybe it's just a little bit too big to really think of anything like spontaneous. So I don't know. So yeah. So 10 surprising ways to increase romance. I found an article here on Family Life, and I'm just going to go through like the key points in here. And a lot of it is very true. Communication is one of the key points. So it's talking to each other, letting each other know how each other feels. Communication also has to be done with openness and understanding. And you also have to listen to your partner. So that's kind of obvious. But here's as simple as it may seem, you need to talk to each other. You may be thinking, but I talk to my spouse all the time, but not talking about discussing family business. Talk means, dreaming together, sharing your thoughts, exposing your feelings, instead of keeping them to yourselves. It is important to turn off the TV or put down whatever you're reading. Put down your smartphone. That's a lot of things that happens nowadays. 2 people are talking, one's always on their phone. So you guys a chance to make eye contact, which is really important. Also, you need to listen and understand. It may be hard to sometimes understand what someone else is trying to tell you, but at least try to look at it from their side. Okay? So if you do this regularly, you're going to get to know your spouse a lot better. You will also appreciate them. They will appreciate you. It gets a return because these guys are both working together. So, So they recommend it's best to take about 10 to 15 minutes a day with your spouse to talk about just stuff. Couple stuff. Not about the kids, not about the house, not about what, just stuff. So number 2, it's keep short accounts and extend forgiveness regularly. Nothing will ruin the desire to be with your spouse faster than resentment and bitterness. In return, it also ruins your spouse's desire to be with you. So fights are going to keep on happening in your relationship. There's no way around it. If you're holding on to resentment and bitterness about something that happened in the past is the past. If you guys had a fight and you guys didn't talk it out, keep it there. No need to bring it up again. Okay. Also, too, you need to handle these conflicts. You can't just have a conflict and forgive and forget and not do anything about it. You need to talk it out. Once it's talked out and worked out, then you can move on. And then once you move on, you don't bring it up again. So you need to learn to forgive. That's the big thing. Number 3, live selflessly. So, and this is kind of a religious article I'm noticing. As I'm reading through it, it's kind of religious. So, but it has a lot of key points. Yeah. Stoner Jesus, you love. So you can just imagine all the lovings you get from all your angels up there. So yeah, pretty much, you don't do things for your spouse because you expect them to do something for you. Yeah. You don't. You do stuff for your spouse because you want to. I know myself. One of the biggest things that will make me not want to do something for someone that I'm with is when they start demanding it. So when they expect me to do it, I won't do it anymore. It's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not. You're gonna expect me to do it. I ain't doing it. But if I'm not being made to feel like I have to do something, I love doing it. It makes me feel like I'm taking care of that person. It's, that's just how I am. Now, I do see, like, because I'm female, I see how males are like that too. I grew up with a dad. My father was the type of man that he always took care of my mother. And he never expected anything in return other than to make her smile or make her laugh or give her some sort of impression. So, that's just awesome. Number 4, make sure that you let your spouse know that you appreciate them. Reaffirm, certain points about them that you like. You can focus on the negative, and if you focus on the negative, then they're going to think that you're just picking on them all the time. But you have to also focus on the positive. And that's got to go both ways. It has to go both ways. Also, too, never stop saying you love them. Always tell them that you love them. It's something so simple, and in today's day and age, it kind of gets overplayed. But when you're in a loving relationship, it should be just easy just to say I love you and remind the person that you love them. Yeah. The other one, too, it says tame your thoughts. Okay. So make sure that your spouse is pretty much like this. Okay, how do I word this appropriately? Oh, you guys need to talk about what's going on between. Like, I think I discussed this in quite a few previous segments. Is discussing what you guys would kind of want to do to each other. Yeah. That type of thing. When you are able to communicate with someone, it just makes it a lot easier to talk about the sexual things, and then the sexual things you guys build on. So, and this is where I noticed, like I said, it's kind of a religious article. Pray together, and that works with any type of religion. You guys may not have the same religion, and you can respect that, but at least kind of learn to like coexist and yeah.
Smoke weed together. It's the same thing.
Exactly. I love someone that smokes weed with me. That's fucking awesome. Anyway, I know you got a big interview coming up. Woohoo! Word. So I'm going to encourage people, if they want to, again, send me questions, articles, anything like that. You can email me at vjjsexyhippie@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at vjjsexyhippie. So feel free to, stop by my Twitter, follow me, send me a message, say, hey, I want to hear about this. I'm all up for different things. And I would like to say peace, Jesus.
Fucking A. Thank you, VDJ. And we will talk to you next Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
Word.
Word.
Bye. Sex, Toys, and Stories from the Road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. Here on the Stoner Jesus Show podcast. It's August 12th, 2016. We're doing it live on CannabisRadio.com. It's the story she was talking about, by the way, the trial or the plea deal and all that stuff, or the crime, the murder, the dismemberment. If you want to go back, God, I want to say July 22nd, the July 22nd show on StonerJesus.net and iHeartRadio and all that stuff, and on YouTube as well. It's even time-stamped on YouTube, so you can go right to it. I believe. I'm 99% sure this is the July 22nd show. If you want to go back and hear more about that story, you can do so. It's the beauty of podcasting. Shit's on demand. Do we have our live interview with Rochelle Ryan, Ryan, R-Y-A-N, coming up here on the Stoner Jesus Show podcast. So don't go anywhere. Or if you do gotta go somewhere, hurry back. Whatever. Just fucking stay tuned. Damn.
The Stoner Jesus Show on CannabisRadio.com.
Hello, my children. Stoner Jesus here to tell you that the Stoner Jesus Show is moving our live time for the show starting on September 9th, 2016. You can join us for Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus live on CannabisRadio.com. That's 9/9/16 live on CannabisRadio.com, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Morning radio will never be the same. Come Wake and Bake with me, 9/9/16 on CannabisRadio.com. Hello, my children. Stoner Jesus here again to tell you about an awesome sponsor of the show. Of course, I'm talking about Pottles. Check out the Pottles banner on StonerJesus.net. They have all kinds of products. Pinner tubes, blunt tubes. They have glass. They have odor-free stash containers in all kinds of different sizes and colors and designs. They have tablers. Just so many products. I can't fit them all into a commercial. Just go click that Pottles banner on StonerJesus.net. Make sure you use promo code StonerJesus. It's all capital letters, all one word. StonerJesus at checkout at Pottles for 20% off. Go check out all of the amazing products Pottles has to offer. Check out that Pottles banner on StonerJesus.net and make sure you use that promo code StonerJesus. Get 20% off at Pottles.
Next to THC and CBD, you can now add CBR to your cannabis vernacular. CBR as in CannabisRadio.com.
Oh, let the marijuana llama tell you something now about a game for your phone gonna make you say, wow! The game's about the game of growing cannabis for cash. Grow the seed, sell the bud, put the savings in the stash. Little by little, your empire grows large. Put different celebrities inside your entourage. You can choose to play with Snoop or me or Cheech and Chong. Cypress Hill, Willie Nelson, Wiz Khalifa with a bong. The name of the game is Hemp Inc., that's the point. Download and play while you light yourself a joint. The business of cannabis should be no crime. Hemp Inc. is even hot-proofed by the man who run High Times. Oh yeah? Get it on Android and iOS today. Marijuana llama out. Got to tend to me own crops, you know. Money don't make itself. Hemp Inc.
And now, St. Peter auditions for the DirecTV television commercials.
Yeah, DirecTV, let's do this. Hello, I'm regular St. Peter, and I have DirecTV. And this over here is this is degenerate St. Peter. He doesn't have DirecTV. What do you have, degenerate St. Peter? Oh well, I only have cable, so I'm a degenerate. Oh, that didn't go smooth. Let's try it again. Hi, I'm regular St. Peter, and I have DirecTV. Hi, I'm degenerate St. Peter, and I only have cable. Don't be like this guy. Don't be like degenerate St. Peter. Get DirecTV today. Oh, I think that was pretty good. I think that went pretty good. What do you think? Do you think it went good, Jesus?
No.
What?
No. The voices sound the same, man. The voices sound exactly the same.
No.
They both sound the same.
No, they don't.
Accents.
No, they don't. I did two different voices, man. Weren't you listening?
No, I didn't hear it.
Weren't you listening? I did two different voices.
I didn't hear
Look
that.
at this. Try it again. I'll show you. Let's go again. Hi, I'm St. Peter, and I have DirecTV. I'm all cool and stuff. Hey, I'm degenerate, St. Peter. I only have cable.
Wow.
And my hair is falling out. And I should have DirecTV.
Wow.
See, Jesus? See,
What?
it's two completely different voices.
No, you can't do accents. It's both the same fucking voice.
God damn it, Jesus! You're killing me. You're killing my buzz,
You
dude.
suck.
You're killing my buzz.
Suck.
Maybe if I try. Let me try with an accent.
Yeah.
Let's go again. Hi, I'm regular St. Peter, and I have DirecTV.
Wow.
Hi, I'm degenerate St. Peter, and I have I have cable. I only have cable. I suck because I don't have DirecTV. Wasn't that good, Jesus?
No, that was awful. You suck.
Fuck you, Jesus. You don't know
suck.
shit. You don't know shit. I got mad voices. I can do mad voicing show.
It was awful.
Watch this. This is Puerto Rican St. Peter.
Okay.
Hey, puppy. I'm Puerto Rican St. Peter. You see how good that fucking is? That's fucking gold, Jesus.
You are awful.
I'm like Rich Little.
Who?
You know, nobody remembers who Rich Little was. Go look him up. God damn it. Fuck you, Jesus. Fuck you. I'm not doing
That's
this.
awful.
Fuck this bullshit.
I'm Radical Russ Belville, inviting you to join me every weekday on CannabisRadio.com for the Russ Belville Show. It's the NPR of POT. We bring you the latest marijuana headlines, cannabis analysis, drug war data, activist interviews, radical rants, and your live calls. Join me every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, live only on CannabisRadio.com.
Cash?
Sorry.
I don't carry around cash, and I don't want to use the ATM and pay surcharges.
You don't need to carry cash. Haven't you heard about PayQuick?
Okay, tell me about PayQuick.
It's the safe and easy way to pay. It works just like your debit card to securely pay for your purchase, and it gives you rewards points every time you use it.
Nice.
PayQuick, the safe and easy way to pay. PayQuick.com.
Today I started smoking my weed again. I'm right back where I really always been. I got over my weed just long enough, let my probation end. And today I started smoking my weed again. Hey boy, pass me that joint. Chong's Choice.
The Tommy Chong Podcast, only on CannabisRadio.com.
The following CannabisRadio.com program contains explicit language and content that can be considered graphic and offensive. This program is not suitable for all audiences, and the opinions expressed do not reflect those of CannabisRadio.com, its staff, management, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. Welcome back to everyone listening live and on podcast. We're live on CannabisRadio.com, the premier cannabis podcasting network in the world, CannabisRadio.com. Of course, find all information on this show and podcasts and whatnot at stonerjesus.net. It's been a great show so far. We go a little longer on Friday nights on the CannabisRadio.com stream. Don't forget, Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus. We move to mornings, Friday mornings, starting 9/9/16. You come join us then on CannabisRadio.com. That'd be awesome. Of course, podcasts, all the same platforms. You'll be able to find the podcast on all the same platforms, the same feeds. None of that changes. Just the time for the live show. It is time for our interview with Rochelle Ryan, at Rochelle Ryan on Twitter. Adult superstar. I have her number programmed in here. Give her a call. Hopefully no technical problems. There sometimes are. Hello, is this Rochelle?
Hello.
Hi, this is Stoner Jesus. We're live in the air. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I know you're busy and got a lot of stuff going on. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. I guess we'll start back at the beginning with your career in the adult business. How did you get started in the adult industry?
I was working as a dancer, as an exotic dancer, and just was kind of just fascinated by the industry. And I was watching a lot of like movies and stuff, and not really watching like as like a pervert or anything like that, but like I was just watching, just like, you know, I was just kind of like, wow, like the girls that get, you know, all glammed up and get to wear sexy outfits and get banged by like hot guys. I was like, and get paid for it. I was like, I want to do it. So I kind of started doing my research and, you know, contacting girls and stuff like that. And then I actually went out to LA and met with like some of the top agents out there, and they were like, we'd love to represent you. They were like, move out to LA, let's go. So, and it was just all spiraled downhill from there.
That's awesome. You mentioned the dancing. You're a featured dancer all over the country. I know a couple weeks ago you tweeted out about all the crazy stuff that happens when you're dancing. What's some of the craziest stuff that's happened when you're on stage?
Well, I'm saving some of my crazy stories. I'm not going to share a lot of them because someday I'm going to be writing a book when I retire from all of it. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, because I mean, needless to say, 13 years of dancing and being in the industry, I kind of seen and done it all. So I don't know. I feel like nothing surprises me anymore. Like I feel like I've been in every crazy situation. I've seen so much crazy stuff that will blow everybody's mind. I mean, it's surreal to me.
Did you ever feel like, was ever like a dangerous situation?
Oh God, yeah. I've been in clubs where they've been like, shot up at, and I've been in clubs where I've been in the back room, like in the manager's office, and gunmen have come in and robbed everybody like at gunpoint. Wow. Like I've been in some crazy situations.
Has it ever made you think that maybe it's just too dangerous to get into, or is it something that you've withstood it this long? You can.
I mean, I feel like if you look at the world nowadays, like everything that's going on, I mean, just being just a citizen, just driving your car down the street, police are pulling people over and shooting innocent citizens. I mean, what are we going to do? Lock ourselves in our house, forever and not leave? It's a scary world we live in. And, it's just, I feel like, it's up to us, to change it, and good people just to set the example.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary place. Have you had any kind of any weird stalker issues?
Oh God, yeah. I think almost like every girl in the industry, that's almost like a given.
Yeah, guys are definitely weird, just overall.
I agree.
You also do a lot of videos, a lot of feature films. I think when people watch the stuff you do, they'll notice a lot of it is really high quality HD stuff that you were talking about, the kind of stuff you aspire to. When people check out your videos, is there any kind of specialties or any kind of things you focus on? What can someone expect if they haven't seen one of your movies or whatever?
my epic ass.
I would,
that is definitely what they're in for.
Yes, I've definitely seen a lot of your videos. I can attest to that. It's quite spectacular.
Hey, okay. I like that.
What about like people you've worked with in the industry? What are some of your favorite people to work with?
You know, this is like, I was actually talking about this on set last night. I've had like favorites, and then I'll work with them again like years later or something, and I'm just like, oh God, like, you know, they've just changed, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not going to name names, but there was this one guy that I used to love working with, and he was actually like my fuck buddy off camera. Like, he was just amazing. And then we worked together a couple years ago, and I was so disappointed. I was like, God, like, he was just, it was just awful. And I think it's just because he'd been in the industry for so long that he was just, you know, tired and worn out. And I mean, who knows, you know? And yeah, so I was really disappointed, to say the least.
If someday you decide to like retire from dancing in the industry and all that, what would you like to do with your experiment or whatever?
I'm definitely looking into buying into a franchise, but that's definitely something that's going to happen once I retire, because I'm kind of like a hands-on person and I like to be involved. And, you know, owning a franchise, I would have to be extremely involved in that, and I just don't have time for that right now. So
yeah.
Definitely see me getting involved in that, and you know, I would love to open up my own yoga studio, even though there's not really good money in owning a yoga studio, but it'd probably just be more of like a hobby for me because I'm so passionate about doing yoga, and then I would have my own yoga studio where I can practice.
That's cool. Anybody who follows your career, follows you on Twitter or whatever, knows that you're really into football, the NFL, the Giants. Do you have any thoughts for football fans out there with the coming season?
Yeah, the New York Giants are, at least we're going to be the NFC East champs. We're making it to the playoffs. I'm not going as far as saying the Super Bowl because everybody wants to say their team's going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I know we're at least going to be the NFC East champs.
Yeah, I was talking about this on the show earlier. I live in the Cincinnati area, and I've followed the Bengals my whole life. And I would bet good money that the Bengals are going to go to the playoffs and lose in the first round. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, right.
But you know, they used to not go to the playoffs at all. So you know, you take what you can get.
Exactly.
Where can people find you online, Rochelle? It's of course at Rochelle Ryan on Twitter. Do you have like Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff?
Oh my God, I have everything. I'm like the internet's girlfriend. I have Instagram is under, I try to keep everything simple, like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, everyth's under at Rochelle Ryan, just how my name is spelled. And then my Facebook is under Rochelle Ryan Rocks. And that's only because I've been deleted so many times because Facebook doesn't like the adult stars. So
that's messed up. What about like
I know.
What about like projects or stuff you got coming out that you can talk about? Anything you want to let people know that's coming up?
Well, I have a secret one that I can't really talk about because I'm waiting for the football season. I'm waiting for football season to kick off. And then once that happens, then I can start releasing details and stuff. But still continuing to shoot and feature dance. And I'm really excited because I'm playing in one of my really good friends' fantasy leagues this year, Lisa Ann. So she's kind of coaching me along through it. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Like, it's going to be tough because I'm sure going to end up drafting, like, you know, a cowboy or an eagle or a redskin, and it's just gonna kill me. But you know, to have to root for them. But it is what it is.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. Rochelle, thank you for calling in and taking the time to talk with us. It was awesome talking to you. And anytime you have something to promote or you got anything coming out, just let us know.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks, Rochelle. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. See, that's the type of book I would read. Someone like her came out with a book, you know, with this like just fucking crazy story after crazy story about being a feature dancer, and well, you can imagine. like she said. Motherfuckers are getting robbed and people are getting shot, and I couldn't do that. Not because I don't have the body for it, because I clearly do, but because, of the danger. The dangerous aspect of it. Stoner Jesus Show podcast. That's the only reason. Whip out my boobs, you'd be fucking amazed. Damn it. Don't judge me. Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12th, 2016. Hear from a few more sponsors, and then we'll be back. We may check out just something, I don't know. Is there anything fucking good in World Star Hip Hop? We'll see what they got. It's always something. Well, it's hit or miss, really. But it could be good. Stoner Jesus Show podcast. Thanks again to Rochelle Ryan for the interview. We'll be back.
The Stoner Jesus Show on CannabisRadio.com.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
From dabs to chivas, sativas to indicas, we roll out a whole concentrate of fresh new content every week. It's like going from the greenhouse to the dispensary. CannabisRadio.com.
You're listening to the Stoner Jesus Show. Not only can Stoner Jesus Show podcast be found on stonerjesus.net, you can also find them on CannabisRadio.com. You can also find the show by searching Stoner Jesus on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker Radio app, also the Stitcher Radio app, iTunes, the iHeartRadio app, and iHeart.com. If you want the links to all of these, go to stonerjesus.net. In the top menu bar, there's a page that says Listen to the Stoner Jesus Show. There you can find all the different ways you can listen to the Stoner Jesus Show podcast. All other information on the show can be found at stonerjesus.net.
The cannabis business industry is growing. Business is booming. And as new opportunities arise in newly legalized states, each market is getting more competitive. Today, it takes more than just being a good grower. Do you have the resources to market and handle this ever-changing business landscape? Let Canna Management Corporation help you grow your canna business with our vast resources and experience to make your business a fully functional service company. Financial management, HR, sales, marketing, efficiency, and more. CMC has the experience and the expertise to improve your business and help you better meet the demands of your clients and customers. Call Canna Management Corporation and let our team get you ready to grow. 415-269-8015. That's 415-269-8015. Or visit canna-management.com.
This is the Stoner Jesus Show podcast on CannabisRadio.com. And don't try to debate me on something. Motherfucker, I can't do many things well, but words are my shit.
The Stoner Jesus Show, live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Or find the Stoner Jesus Show podcast on demand at CannabisRadio.com and StonerJesus.net.
Peace, bitches.
The following CannabisRadio.com program contains explicit language and content that can be considered graphic and offensive. This program is not suitable for all audiences, and the opinions expressed do not reflect those of CannabisRadio.com, its staff, management, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Stoner Jesus Show podcast, August 12, 2016. We're wrapping up things here, live on CannabisRadio.com. A little bonus material. There's so much to choose from. Former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford, his smoking crack video has finally been released. You can find that on RealStarHipHop.com. The audio is not going to be too good on that. Of course, we talked about the mother and son banging each other. Rapper busted because of his music video. Florida teen cut grass all summer to save for his college tuition. That's awesome. Even a new Black Panther story. But I'm going to go with Alaskan man faces up to 35 years in jail after allegedly tracking down sex offenders and viciously attacking them. WorldStarHipHop.com. Check it, yo. Maybe.
Vukovic is facing a host of charges, including robbery and assault. Police say he tracked his victims to their homes and attacked them in late June. And they say in one case he beat a man so severely with a hammer that he fractured his skull.
God damn.
These are just allegations at this time.
Jason Vukovic had little to say in court today, except to enter a plea of not guilty to charges involving 4 different men. According to charging documents, he told police he found information about his victims on the state's sex offender registry. It's something anyone can do. Names, pictures, addresses, it's all there online, including the place where this man lives.
So the guy hit me in the head.
So go beat him with a hammer.
6 times.
Wesley Demarest is one of several men Vukovic is accused of assaulting.
I figured he was going to kill me.
He says Vukovic broke into his home in the middle of the night and beat his head with a hammer.
He said, I'm an avenging angel. I'm going to mete out justice for the people you hurt.
An avenging angel with a hammer.
In 2006, Demarest pled no contest to attempted sexual abuse of a minor. He's been on the list a long time.
I get off when I'm 72.
He says he understands why the list exists, but after the attack, he wonders if it offers too much information.
I don't think that their place they work should be listed. I don't think their address should be public knowledge. I think the name should be enough.
He says he thinks about his crime every day, how it's affected his own life.
How long do I have to pay for it every time I get turned down for a job?
But then he remembers his victim.
How long is she going to have to live with it? Yeah, okay, so I'll live with it forever then.
In some ways, he's resigned to his fate. Demarest was required to register as a sex offender for 15 years after his conviction, which means he has 5 years left. And as for Jason Vukovic, if he's convicted of all the charges, he could get more than 30 years in prison. Lauren Maxwell, KTVA 11 News.
Yeah, I mean, obviously sex offenders, are not the best people, but you really just can't go around because you decide you saw someone's address online and beat him in the head with a hammer. So we have to have some sort of civilization, some sort of decorum in what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, anyway, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks again to Rochelle Ryan for the interview. Thanks to VDJ Sexy Hippie for sex toys and stories from the road. It was all quite awesome. Don't forget, Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus starts 9/9/16, 10 a.m. Eastern on CannabisRadio.com. There's a page for it on StonerJesus.net. There's videos. I tweet it all the time on Facebook. It's everywhere. Go to StonerJesus.net for all these social media networks that we are on, past shows, etc. Shows at nighttime are coming to an end in just a few weeks. We're listening to the last few before we move to mornings. Wake and Bake with Stoner Jesus debuts 9/9/16. CannabisRadio.com. Thanks everybody for listening. And as always, peace, bitches.
Amen.